Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of the Smashing Crossbar Podcast. I'm your host, Crossbar Capers, and with me today is my good mate, Cornerflake Games. How you going, buddy?
I'm not too bad, mate. I've had better days, but yeah, let's get cracking.
So do I, mate. So have I, but we'll continue on, mate. So on today's episode, we'll be talking about the results from the judiciary from today's judiciary of O'Donovan, which was done earlier tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we'll discuss the Super Champions Cup results, which we got home this morning from, I believe.
Yep.
As well as a little look into how the transfer situation is heating up in the A League so far, with obviously a few teams there with a couple of good signings in the last 24 hours. And last but not least, if we do have a little bit of time, mate, I've got a couple of questions I'd love to fire at you and get your opinion, which
Easy
is,
done.
obviously I didn't want to tell you about it, considering I want to really get you on the spot. So
I was about to say, this seems like payback from the Lencast the other night.
Yeah, mate. Look, so yeah, as I said, let's get right into it, mate, with obviously the Super Champions Cup fixtures and how we ended up doing. So obviously game one was against Shanghai Shenhua on Friday night, where we ended up getting up 2-0 with goals to Hoffman and a late finish by Simmons, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Was it Simmons? Yes. So, mate, yeah, look, as I said, we'll get into that. What was your thoughts of the first game? I know you and I both watched it.
Mm-hmm. Aside from the god-awful Chinese commentary, which I had to mute after about the first 10 minutes, it seems like for the first goal, Jason Hoffman was his usual self at the right place, right time. Hoffman sneaking one into the back post from a spill.
Yeah, it definitely sounds about right. Obviously, not missing much from obviously his season just gone, where he had a cracking season, and hopefully he can continue on obviously into the next season ahead.
Yeah. So
obviously, again, if these guys did miss it, the starting lineup for that game was Moss in goals, Bajuka, Armstrong, Katrumbis, Hoffman in the back line, Kanarowski, Ugarkovic, Cowburn, and Chatness in the middle, with Vigili and Costa-Petrados up front.
And just to clarify there, mate, that
Yes.
It wasn't Armstrong, it was meant to be Jackson. Laurie did post that.
Oh, it was Jackson.
Yes, it was Jackson. He admitted that he made a mistake on his Twitter with the lineup.
Oh, well, there you go. So that's why obviously you're getting your sources from Twitter. Doesn't always work, lads. So
It is if you read the replies to it.
Very true. Very true. I probably should have done that myself. Obviously, first point though, I will get across Kanarowski finally getting a crack at captaincy.
Yeah.
Congratulations to him. Obviously, a long time coming. So obviously, a long servant of the club, and as far as I'm concerned, in the last 12 months, well deserved.
Very much well deserved.
He had his ups and downs through obviously the last decade thereabouts. So good to finally see him get obviously the captain's armband, even if it was for only possibly 2 matches. So
well deserved to Benny Kay. He had, as you mentioned, he has been a long time servant of the club, and he's. I don't think you could look past anybody else to give him the captain's armband in with that sort of squad that we took.
Yeah, look, that's it. Pretty much, it was either going to be him or Hoffman, I would have thought, and at the end of the day, good choice from Merrick as far as I'm concerned.
Yep. So,
yeah, look, as I said, can you like the youngsters? Obviously, we took over to the tournament. Any standouts for you in the first game, mate? Or
look, Gussie has his moments.
Yep.
I will admit, I'm quite a big fan of young Angus Thurgate. Did make his first team debut last season for the Jets in the A League, and of course he's a bit more well known as one of the Jets youngsters than some of the others. But after watching the Hong Kong Super Sevens tournament about a month and a half, 2 months ago now, there were a couple of players in that showed their class and sort of knocked on the door to Ernie Merrick to say, hey, look, maybe we should be considered for this. And I'm actually kind of glad that the Jets did take over a predominantly youth squad to that competition, showing that, you know, if our youth's like that they've got some promising prospects there for first team call-ups in the future. As for a standout, though, yeah, look, I'm going to have to stick with probably Gussie Thurgate on that one.
Yeah, mate, yeah, absolutely. Look, as I said, there was obviously a few guys there who sort of impressed. Vigili was no surprise for me. He proved, you know, even though it didn't seem like he'd done a great deal, it's still he showed enough to why obviously Merrick decided to take him over and give him a chance.
Yep.
Along with I believe it was Simon. I can't keep on forgetting. I'm pretty sure it's Simon's, isn't it? I keep on forgetting his last name. I thought it was Simmons at first, but
no, it is Simmons.
It is Simmons, isn't it? Yeah, yeah. No, I've been getting different answers from different people, so just stick me guns next time. Simmons done all right. Obviously, the goal he scored was, you know, it was decent and so forth. But yeah, look, as I said, we'll move on obviously to the next game we played. Obviously, getting a draw in the first 90 minutes there with an equaliser for his first goal for the Jets in Riddington. And then obviously taking it further to penalties and finally getting the victory there on penalties 3-1. Your take on the game, mate? I know you watched that one. I've struggled to get reception and coverage for that. So
yeah, the big thing that I'll say out of that one is Mijajewski, don't ever try a Panenka penalty ever again.
Yeah, I have seen it on Twitter and so forth. It was pretty terrible.
Oh, it was so tame. But that wasn't the best part. As I explained to you earlier, when we were talking earlier today, the best part was what Glenn Moss did after he took that penalty. Mijajewski walked straight over to Glenn Moss. Glenn Moss gave him a big cuddle and then rubbed him on the top of the head and said, mate, if you keep giving me penalties like that, I'm going to look like an absolute superstar.
Yeah, look, as I said, they from what I heard, obviously, Chang Chun Yatai.
Yeah.
They were pretty dominant side, and obviously you can definitely see why they would have gone for a bloke like Mijajewski, in, you know, helping them obviously get higher in their league this year. But it was good to see, obviously, again, the youth of our squad still pressing and obviously is getting that equaliser.
Yep.
And then obviously lasting to the 90 minutes and obviously into extra time to take it to penalties. So, again, look, you know, in winning that, obviously we won the tournament. I believe it was around $130,000 prize money take home. So, obviously, you know, not a great deal of money in regards to tournaments around the world, but, you know, it's $130,000 we didn't have before we left.
Yeah, and I don't think it's something that the Jets... I don't. When it comes to the Jets, I don't think it's anything to do with money either. I think it's just more. No. It's more Martin Lee going, right, we need to expose ourselves as a club in Asia, and where else to do it than in his home country.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, you know, I think, you know, we done enough over there to prove that whilst they were two decent sides we came up against, the youth that we've got coming through at the moment is doing its job, and obviously just, you know, I suppose puts the guys obviously who watch the games a little bit at ease, knowing that our youth system isn't terrible, but, you know, obviously it's not fantastic, but obviously we can rely on a couple of these guys to come in, I suppose, no different to Lockie Jackson when he first come on the scene. You know, like, obviously everyone had their doubts and he made mistakes and he's made plenty of them. I'm sure he'll be first to admit that.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, he's from where he was to where he is now, obviously he's a completely different person.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I am starting to obviously take a shining to him personally. I think he's going to be a good player for us, obviously, if we can hold on to him, and if he if he keeps willing to learn, obviously, I think only things are going to get better for him personally.
Yeah, and I think in that last part of the season when we had Bugard out through injury, that I think he really stood up and made a name for himself, and again knocking on the door of the first 11, going, "Hey, when am I going to get my chance?"
Yeah, and that's exactly right. And again, obviously, you can see obviously a few of the young blokes that have gone over there, even a couple of the senior guys, like I suppose Ugarkovic, Kanarowski, Vajuka, and I suppose Champness as well. It's going to be a complete different season. Obviously we've got Asia. We need to start looking at signings, and we need to start looking at them soon. And this is the best time for them to stand up and shine and say, I'm not going anywhere. And whoever you do bring in to obviously, to try and fill these positions, then we're not going to give them up easy. So I think they need to take, I dare say, obviously the tournament, possibly maybe one or two FFA Cup matches that they might get through before we start looking at obviously bolstering the squad and buying more talent. But yeah, look, these guys have obviously, I believe they've done enough over there to show the class in Asia. Even Sydney, you know what I mean? Like they got beat by I believe it was the
Shanghai Shenhua.
Yeah, no, I believe they beat Shanghai Shenhua. I believe
it was Yatai. It was the other way around.
No, okay. Yeah, they got beat by Shanghai. Yeah, they delivered a very young squad from what I can recall. I didn't look at the lineups or anything like that, but from what I've been hearing from a couple of mates, obviously who are Sydney fans, they took over a really youth squad to virtually just give these guys a bit of a taste of what it's like to be,
in the big leagues.
In the big leagues itself, yeah, as you said, yeah. So obviously, look, there's look at the end of the day, good. It was a good result. Obviously, the squad he took over, I'm happy with. I'm happy with the way he's going with the youth system. I'm happy that he left a lot of the senior guys at home to virtually just rest up and
and train away.
Just train away. That's it. Get the fitness, get the legs. Get the mileage into those legs, and obviously just be ready for obviously when they come back and start prepping for Spain, I believe.
Yeah.
So that's obviously the big test over there, and that's where he wants his senior squad to fire up, and obviously these young guys to come in behind him and just say, look, it's all right, guys. If you don't feel up to it, we're here. We'll happily take your spot. So at the end of the day, good result. Merrick was very happy, obviously, as he said in the interview and that he done afterwards, with obviously the squad he took over there and the way the guys performed for him. So at the end of the day, I suppose if the coach is happy, that's all you can take out of it, whether they win, lose or draw, I suppose. So
it's the experience that matters.
And that's exactly right. And that's what they were over there to do, was just get the mileage in and have a bit of fun. I'm sure obviously Merrick would have relayed that to them, like a win is important, but at the end of the day, look, go out there and just be happy, be grateful to be out there and obviously represent the shirt and having a bit of fun at the same time. So look, as I said, we'll move away from there a little bit to obviously the most recent news out of the Newcastle's camp. Roy O'Donovan obviously went and appealed his 10-match ban earlier tonight.
Yeah.
Unfortunately unsuccessful, which, as far as I'm concerned, I pretty much thought that was going to be the case. I didn't see him having a chance of getting that dropped by one match. So look, so obviously the 10-match still applies, and he'll have to get back into training and just bust his ass, and obviously come those 10 games, once they're up and suspended, pray that he can make his way back into that squad, because I dare say 10 matches out is it's not going to be an easy feat for him. It's not going to be just a straight walk into the park, walk straight back into the squad, as everyone found out last year.
Yeah, it also boils down to as well. Now, does that suspension include FFA Cup games prior?
I do believe it does. Yes, I do believe the FFA Cup is included. No tournament or pre-season tournament other than that. So if he does get, if he was to go to Spain, he could clock up games. That doesn't count.
Yep.
I do believe he can go there and play in that tournament, but it doesn't allow him to, be.
So it's basically an Australian domestic ban.
100%. Yep. So he will hopefully this year. Well, hopefully because of the draw we've picked this season. Hopefully they can chew a few away. Obviously in the FFA Cup, find a draw in a non-league side. So, look, I don't expect big things out of the FFA Cup. By all means, unless we draw 3 or 4 non-league clubs straight up, I don't see our luck running out that long.
No.
I think to draw Gold Coast in the first round is a good enough achievement. Hopefully we can go out and we can dominate them, which as far as I'm concerned we should possibly do, especially if we dominated that tournament. Gold Coast to me should not be an issue. We should be able to really punish those guys, unfortunately for them. But yeah, look, O'Donovan's done and dusted. He's now got to sit it out for 10 weeks. No more appealing. He's got to now cop it on the chin, and he's got to work his ass off, as far as I'm concerned, and virtually, knuckle down and, as I said, come 10 weeks. Once it's all said and done, pray that for his sake, there's, possibly an injury where he can get back into it, or, bust his ass off the bench, which I dare say is what he's more likely going to have to happen.
Have to do, yeah. Look, I look at it a bit like this. We've got the FFA Cup, we've got Asian Champions League, and we've got the A League. From what I see things at the moment, we can't go into all 3 of those tournaments all guns blazing. Otherwise, we're going to run ourselves into the ground, and all 3 will falter in all 3 competitions. What I'm interested to see by Ernie Merrick and their club itself is how they are going to prioritise those 3 competitions.
Yeah, it's a very, very good point. Very good point there, mate. You make. Yeah, look, it's going to be difficult. Obviously, with the FFA Cup, and obviously Asia, then obviously in the A League itself. To me, FFA Cup's a non-priority. I don't believe they will be taking their best, putting their best 11 out on the pitch every week in the FFA Cup. But the big thing will be how lenient the draw is for us. Obviously, with Asia, we've seen Sydney and that get a little bit lucky with it, and obviously Melbourne. But nothing's ever easy for the Jets. I
was about to say, we've still got to qualify yet.
Well, that's exactly right, and that's going to be the big question. And obviously, find out who we play and whereabouts it's been going to be held, and et cetera, et cetera. And look, at the end of the day, Merrick's got to virtually go out and state that, look, we can do the job. If we perform anything like we did last season, we should have no dramas getting through the qualification. And once we get into the actual group stage, well, that'll be a different story, I'd imagine.
Yeah, which also leads into the next point of your transfers and when we start making them and who do we start signing. Obviously, we are. It's been very well reported that we are looking for an out-and-out striker to possibly, not so much possibly, but to fill the void for that 10 weeks when Roy O'Donovan is out missing. And at the same point, I think they were also looking at a somebody who could also slot into that left wing, left midfield position as well. That could also play as a striker, but I think that may be on the back burner if they do end up offering James Virgili a contract with the club.
Yeah, look, as I said, obviously with only making the one signed so far in Riddington, and letting a few go, like your Alessis, your Klutz, your Dazevsky, McGree, and Rodriguez and Chabau. Obviously, it's a lot of talent gone, even though some of them didn't make too many appearances. Obviously, it's still a big loss. Pardon me if you could say that. So, look, we need to do something. We need to do something big, and we need to obviously. You look at the likes of and so forth, who apparently were in talks with who was it? Pardon me, massive sore throat. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, what was I going to say? Obviously, they're in talks now with apparently Crouch. So,
Oh, wow.
If they're looking at luring the likes of Crouch, surely we should be up there with them, trying to get somebody even remotely close to that skill level.
Yeah, we have been.
Hopefully,
we have been the typical Newcastle Jets. Everybody else is signing everybody, and the Jets have gone quiet.
Yeah, look, as I said, it's pretty much our stock standard way. We, unfortunately, we've had a pretty bad luck with signings. We got lucky with Heskey and a couple of others in previous seasons. Sorry, but in all honesty, we've had plenty of duds as well.
Oh yeah, I could name more of the duds than what I can the stars.
Yeah, and that's the thing, it's just one of those things where we really need to sit down and find the cream of the crop and the talent that's going to actually propel us forward. And I believe, obviously, with Ernie Merrick and obviously Joel Griffiths and obviously CEO and in McKenna and so forth, we should be able to obviously find good depth. And obviously Griffiths showed that last season in bringing in the likes of Rodriguez and stuff like that, even though he wasn't probably up to this caliber of Nesevskis and Bobos and stuff like that. He was still good enough. He could match it in the A League.
Oh yeah, and he showed that in the game against the Coast.
100%, absolutely, 100%. Look, if we really sit back and we look through it, and we go through the sides at the moment, Adelaide United with picking up Jakobsen from the City, Craig Goodwin from Sparta Rotterdam, and Ilso, I believe, who was he wasn't at a club, but those two signings in obviously Jakobsen and Goodwin alone is the talent that we should be looking at signing.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Obviously even with them getting rid of some of their older guys and blokes that obviously weren't performing at the club or weren't getting the game time, to let as many as they did leave. Mm-hmm. Obviously it's freed up a fair bit of space there for them in the transfer market, and I do imagine them to be probably, putting pen to paper on obviously a few more signings before the season starts.
Well, yeah, everybody seems to be signing somebody except us at the moment. I mean, look at Perth Glory, for instance. I'm going to dub him as Mr. Recycle, but Tony Popovich is making signings left, right and centre, and they're not just signings, they're quality signings that he's getting. With the base that Kenny Lowe left him as well, my question to you is, how long is it going to take the FFA to realise that Perth Glory are already in breach of the salary cap?
Yeah, look, it's going to be interesting. Obviously, from what I've seen and what I've heard around, through people and so forth, obviously Perth are in the process of obviously being the team to beat next season, just by the few signings that they've signed. Ivan Franjic obviously being old, he's not as young as he used to be and so forth, but still a very good man to have at a club as a leader. And he will virtually get amongst those guys and virtually tell them what's what. And if you don't like it, we'll enjoy the bench, because that's pretty much.
Well, you've still got the likes of Keogh and Shane Lowry. Who else has moved there? More recently, you've got Neil Kilkenny anchoring that midfield there. Earlier today, I just seen that they signed Fabio Ferreira, Brenton Santalab. Like they've got some top quality talent.
Yeah, I think personally the signing out of all that, obviously, I'm going to be interested to see what Tando Valapi is going to bring to the bring to their table.
Yeah.
Obviously, Liam Reddy as well. There, it's going to be very interesting because they are very two similar goalkeepers. They've been in the game in the A League long enough as each other, and it'll be a very tight spot there, obviously for the number one goalkeeping spot.
Popper has always liked depth in his goalkeepers.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, we can even go on to obviously another one that was just recently signed in Stephen Taylor to Wellington. Obviously, a couple of the guys out there, a couple of mates of mine, David Loudfoot and obviously James, born and bred from the Toon. Obviously, Steve Taylor played there for a fair whack of his career, and I'm sure they know him better than probably most in Newcastle here itself. And as far as I'm concerned, he will be a very good signing for Wellington if they are to try and compete for the top 6 this season.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so, look, as I said, there's plenty of good signings coming out from all clubs. There's obviously plenty of departures from clubs as well that will be interesting to see what happens to some of them, obviously in the months to come, and obviously if they do pick up clubs, or some obviously already have. I think a big one for me would be Stephen Lustica. I think obviously not many people would expect him to be, or I didn't think he would have been released personally from Western Sydney.
No, neither.
But obviously I still believe he is a good talent and should be picked up by somebody, maybe the Central Coast, maybe Wellington.
He already has.
Really?
Yeah, he's already made a move.
Released. Oh, well, there we go.
He signed with NK Inter Zaporizhzhia in the Croatian top flight.
No, there you go. Last I heard, he was just released. So, there you go. Obviously, yeah, good on them, because I do believe, he's a good signing for somebody, and obviously someone's picked him up. Sweet as. I'm happy with that, because we could have used him at Newcastle for sure.
Oh, for sure.
Yes. Look, as I said, there's plenty of signings to come, and obviously plenty of big names obviously out there that will be interesting to see. Obviously, I do believe, as you said, we need firepower, and obviously possibly someone through the midfield. So obviously it will be interesting to see obviously when Ernie does make a decision to obviously make that signing, and how far into pre-season it's going to happen. Hopefully it's not right at the end of pre-season and right before we're about to kick off the season. But again, he's the coach, and he got us from the depths of frigging wooden spooners to the grand final. So in Ernie we trust, as we like to say.
In Ernie we trust.
So look, as I said, we'll only have to wait and see, I suppose.
Yeah, well, yeah, I suppose we are going to have to wait and see. Something that did pop up when you mentioned Stephen Lustica. He reminds me a lot of our own Croatian man in Mateo Poljak.
Mateo Poljak.
I'm actually quite surprised that no other A-League club has decided to pick him up either.
Yeah, well, he was a fan of yours, so
he was, and he is home again.
Oh, really?
From what I can read here, he made his way back in 2018. Actually, very recently, and he's now playing for Marconi Stallions.
Oh, God.
So I might bump into him next week.
Yes, yeah. Is it that time already? Sure, yeah.
Or a week in a bit, 2 weeks, whenever.
A couple of weeks when you get down there. Yeah, was that Marconi versus Avondale?
Yes,
Avondale.
Avondale.
Marconi, I believe. Yeah. So obviously a couple of games down your way in the next couple of weeks, mate. Frigging that one. Obviously, Lubo versus Heidelberg.
Yeah.
Which will be happening down there, obviously, down at my old stomping ground when I was living in Melbourne. Good old down Heidelberg. So still got the scarf I scored you, mate.
I do, mate. I do. I'll take it with me.
Wear it proud, mate. Wear it proud.
I will.
Get Lubo to sign it. That'd be funny.
Right, so he'll end up jumping on Instagram or something, going fucking Pappers.
Pappas. Good old Pappas.
We love you, Lubo.
So, look, yeah, obviously there's a lot going on, guys, in the A League at the moment, with obviously transfer news and, a bit of movement, obviously, between even coaching staff and coaches and everything at the moment. I believe it was you that was telling me something about our famous ex-coaching staff. Who was that? That was...
Which one?
Oh, yeah, no, you were cutting out. You got off the top of your head.
What, John Paul DeMarinay?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, John. Yeah, you were saying something about him. He was moved on somewhere.
Yeah, he was on the move.
He was looking at moving somewhere.
I'm pretty sure he moved to. Yeah, he did. He's now the assistant coach of Western Sydney Wanderers.
That's right. Yeah, there you go. So, friggin' obviously a lot of movement around the A League. Poor old Who was the coach there at Western Sydney there not long ago? Was it Fox?
Fox and Gombau, take your pick.
Gombau, yeah, it's funny. It's a dog
so,
world, unfortunately.
DeMarinay's gone across to from the Victory. He's left the Victory and he's gone across to the Western Sydney Wanderers. The other one that made a very interesting move is ex-Newcastle Jets goalkeeping coach, Jess Van Straten.
Good old Van Straten.
Now, as we are all aware, halfway through last season, Van Straten got pinched by City.
Yes.
And, of course, as City do, with all their infinite wisdom and all their infinite money, they use him for 6 months and then they kick the poor bastard to the curb. So, he politely said... he politely said to the Melbourne City board, a big F-U. And, from what I last read, he's now making his name for himself as a goalkeeping coach of Melbourne Victory.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Poor bugger. Yeah, look, yeah. Well, yeah, we can obviously... City's had a bit of a spree obviously in the last couple of weeks. With obviously the likes of Halloran coming over from Rangers and...
Yeah.
Them flogging McGree office and Lachlan Wales from the Central Coast Mariners and obviously the big one, Caceres out of Manchester City, which is obviously a very interesting loan deal.
Very.
Not a big fan of the whole Manchester City buying to go into Manchester City then loan them out sort of thing. I think it's a bit of a crock, but
no, I would agree with that.
But obviously there's also talk now that after his performance, obviously in the World Cup, that the new young bloke, what was his name?
Daniel Arzani.
Yeah, Arzani's obviously looking. City are looking at picking him up possibly, and obviously instantly sending him out on loan somewhere. So possibly back to City again.
Yeah.
Again, I think it's just more of a bit of a joke. Personally, I'm not a big fan of the whole scenario. It's just not, as far as I'm concerned, not good for the A League. It's not how things should be done, and it's a bit of a kick in the guts for everyone else who obviously who isn't able to do that.
Yeah,
personally. But look, each to their own, and obviously that's why they are where they are. I suppose up that sort of the top end of the ladder, and they got money to burn. Well,
something else I'd like to bring up, and I was perusing through Twitter and stuff the other day, and something struck me as rather interesting. Now, it may be old news to some people because it did happen halfway through last season, or well, halfway through last A League season. But it from what I saw, it tended to fly relatively under the radar. John Van Schip, who is the ex-manager of Melbourne City.
Yes.
Obviously has picked up his management career again and is managing Pek Zwolle in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
Yes. It was very interesting. I saw somebody release the team photo for this year for their squad and coaching staff. And I was very surprised to see that he has signed a new assistant manager.
Okay.
Yes. The assistant manager that he has signed for himself at Pek Zwolle is none other than Michael Valkanis.
Wow. That's impressive.
So, as we all know, after leaving City, after the signing of Warren Joyce,
Yep.
obviously I would have assumed that City would have offered Valkanis another assistant contract, and he went, no, bugger you. I think it was either that, or I think I read reports a while back that it was Warren Joyce and Valkanis just didn't get on with each other.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
But I think Van Schip's heard over the ditch that, things are rocky, and he's like, well, come join me.
And why wouldn't you?
Well, yeah, it's a great experience for Valkanis.
Absolutely. Different country, different game. And, massive horizon, obviously, of, different lifestyle, obviously, a completely different competition. So, yeah.
The things I find on a very boring night sitting in front of my laptop.
Yeah, we have plenty of those.
I have lots of those.
Lots of downtime, obviously, without much football at the moment.
Well, yes.
Yeah. Well, it's obviously almost finished. World Cup's almost over, and
good. It means I can go back to playing FIFA again.
Yeah, look, I don't think I've touched the thing since it started.
I didn't want to.
No. To be perfectly fair, I don't think I touched it for a while before. Even that, sort of lost a bit of interest. And
the only time I've touched it is to create content, basically.
Yeah. No, I get way too frustrated with FIFA at the moment. So sort of put it down. Obviously, went back to GTA 5, obviously with you and a few other of the boys. So
yeah, I bought that to replace the FIFA. To replace FIFA, because I didn't want to play FIFA during the World Cup because I didn't want to completely burn myself out on football. Yeah. Well, again, obviously everyone else out there, Ben does create a fair bit of FIFA content on his channel, so it's probably a good idea, mate, just to take a break for a little bit. Well, yeah. And it came to a very much of a surprise to me that a friend asked me, "Oh, how long's your channel been going for?" And I said, "Oh, I can't remember. I know my 1 year's coming up soon." It was actually yesterday.
Yes.
The 9th of July.
I did read that, mate. Friggin' massive. Obviously, big 12 months it's been as well. Obviously, hit the 100 subscribers, I believe. And
over 100 now.
Oh, you're over 100 now. You're right. Don't rub it in, mate.
That's all right. You'll get there, mate. We'll get you there.
But, no, it's absolutely friggin' massive feat. And, again, guys, I can't strongly recommend going and checking out his content. It is amazing. So, look, whilst we've got you, wrapping you up and talking a bit about yourself, mate, obviously I've got, which I did want to fire away at you.
Yeah, sure.
So, obviously, we'll go over the first one here. Who has been the best player to grace the A League in the past 18 years?
You're probably gonna not like me for saying this. Is this a personal, as in best, as in most skillful, talented, or who I believe is
who you believe has been the best player in the 18 years, best player you think you've witnessed, the one person obviously you love, you could watch over and over again.
So I'm going to give a two-part answer to this. If we're going based on skill and me being able to sit there and watch their skill and their brilliance as a player, then it will have to be Alessandro Del Piero.
Mm-hmm.
If we're going an all-round unit, humble, nice, and a very strong international player that may have flown under the radar, Matteo Del Piero.
Yeah, that's actually probably that's a good answer, to be fair. I do believe he was definitely a under the radar sort of talent and didn't get as much credit as he probably should have. So I 100% agree with that, mate, for sure. Del Piero, well, what can you say about Del Piero? He's done everything in the game, and we were lucky enough to obviously see him come out. I'd probably agree with Del Piero personally. The only other person I would dare say, obviously as a Reds fan, watching the likes of Robbie Fowler race the A League in the early years was just amazing. It was good to watch.
And I'd like to give a very, very, very dishonourable mention to Ross McCormack. And we all know why that is.
Come on, mate. You got to let it go.
As a Birmingham City supporter, I will never let it go.
You've got to let things go, mate. He wanted to win. He wanted to try and win trophies, mate. They didn't get too many, but
he won the award for the most goals from a free kick.
Yeah, well, that's true. Very true.
Anyway, more questions. Fire away.
Sorry, moving on, mate. So, obviously, as a very, very early prediction, obviously, give me one team who you think you reckon is going to be up, say, in the 4, and one team you think will be down in the bottom, say, bottom 3.
Coasties on the bottom. That's easy. You don't even have to ask me that question.
I had to just to make sure.
Coasties most definitely on the bottom.
Yeah, even if I was in a Jets, I still don't think they're going to match it with obviously the guys up the top this year.
Well, mate, to get higher on the table, sometimes you've got to stand on the shit to get there.
Very true. Very true.
Again, top half, top 4. I'd even go so far as to say top 2. Definitely Perth Glory.
Yeah.
If the talent they've got fires,
yep,
they will be finals contenders.
Yep. Fair call. I'll give my 2. I reckon Brisbane will be down the bottom. I don't believe they're gonna. I think they're gonna struggle again this year. They've let a lot go and obviously haven't really brought much in. So it'll be interesting to see. Obviously, the guys that they need to bring in, obviously, is going to have to be pretty much somewhat like the Jets. You know, they have to be some pretty good talent.
Yeah.
And I don't see that happening. Obviously, with their pedigree and their record last season and how things have been travelling, I don't think they're going to get those massive signatures over the line.
No, I don't think so either. And to do what the Jets did, Ernie Merrick took a risk in playing a lot of unknown youth to get where he got. Aloisi just doesn't strike me as that type of manager that would take the gamble like that on youth.
Yeah, and probably up there, obviously, you know, Perth I think is obviously going to be the underdogs this year. I think they're going to go pretty much be the underdog side, other than obviously, you know, your Cities, your Victories, your Sydney, hopefully us. Maybe Adelaide. Adelaide might do something.
I'm very undecided on Adelaide yet.
Yeah, I still think they need to make a couple more signings.
Yep.
But obviously with the likes of Taggart and Goodwin going in there, and obviously stuff like that. I do believe obviously they're on the right track.
Yep.
And if they can keep that up, obviously with a few more signings and that, they could possibly be a side to be reckoned with.
Mm-hmm.
So leads me into this is it's a subject obviously we'll talk more coming into the season, I would imagine, once we get a little bit closer and get a little bit more info into what the plans are and so forth. But I want to know your thoughts on the who you think should be the 2 new expansion sides into the A League, and obviously why.
Okay. Again, I could sit here and talk for hours about this subject. Because they've all got pros and they've all got cons.
Correct.
I was having a debate with actually my father about this about a week and a half ago. He feels that another side from New South Wales shouldn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
Because he believes that there are already too many, including the likes of your Coasties and your Jets.
Yep.
But I do believe some of the stronger and more financially viable teams do sit in that area.
Yep.
Contrary to popular belief, I do enjoy Wollongong Wolves as a team. They're the only team that I could see from the New South Wales state getting a fair crack or getting a crack without infringing on current supporter bases.
Yep.
I believe when you're looking at Sydney FC and Western Sydney and the impact that another team in that state would have on them, I feel that Wollongong's probably the best fit for that. Yeah, okay, they may lose a little bit of supporters, but nothing compared to, University of Sydney, I think the other one was, or something like that, which is in direct competition with both supporter groups. I just don't feel that that's a wise move. Whereas Wollongong down in the further southern region, in Illawarra and things like that, it's a completely untapped supporter base as far as I'm concerned. So I feel that team is going to have the least impact. Because, again, it comes down to financially for the other two existing A-League clubs. That's money and revenue they lose from membership sales.
True. Very true. Very true.
So, I would say Wollongong.
Yep.
My other one would be, I'd like to see Canberra get a fair crack of the whip.
Mm-hmm.
For the simple fact that they already have a very well-established women's team.
Yep.
And they do have a youth side as well. Why not broaden their horizons and give them a competitive A-League side?
Yeah.
They already have the resources and the finances to be able to do it and sustain it.
Yeah.
And I do feel sorry for football supporters in the capital region. Without having to drive to either Sydney or Melbourne to see a game. Mm-hmm. That's a costly expense. And when you look at some of the talent that's come out of Canberra as well, namely at the moment, this is going to sound really weird, but namely at the moment, probably my favourite Matilda, which is young Ali Carpenter.
Yep. Yeah, look, as I said, I'm with you with Canberra. It amazes me that it's not even a done deal as of yet, as far as I'm concerned, because, as I said, they're in the NSL. They've got the women's side. They've got the AIS, which obviously is just a breeding ground. It should be. Yeah. It was back in the 90s and the early 80s. Yeah, Harry Kuehls and your Vidukas and stuff like that coming out of it, and if you've got that breeding ground of juniors right there at your feet, surely Canberra should be having a side in there, and obviously, as far as I'm concerned, most likely should be the first team put into it 100%.
The other more interesting one that I would like to see, and I'll just very quickly finish this one. One of the outside chances that I did actually get behind and support was that it actually stood out to me in the initial rounds. They didn't make it into the second round of proposals. Was Fremantle?
I did hear that. Yeah, I did hear about Fremantle being another side maybe coming into it. Yeah, look, it'll be interesting. I think Perth need to. I think they need to be dominating more before that happens. To really draw more people in there, and then obviously bring that other side in, and then make a massive riff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like sort of like obviously in Melbourne. Melbourne would dominating, and bang, right, let's bring another side in, and obviously Melbourne City not having the massive fan base obviously as Victory do.
Don't annoy the City fans. Don't annoy the City fans. You should have said Melbourne Heart.
No, see, I won't call them Heart because, as far as I'm concerned, they're happy. They're happy with the move. They wouldn't have bought the shirts if they didn't. They wouldn't buy the merchandise. They all buy the merchandise.
Well, here's the thing. They may be City supporters now, but 90% of them still rock up to games in their away shirts. Which was the Heart shirt.
Yeah, but again, mate, you say 90%. That's hard. Have you seen them fill a stadium? I haven't. They're lucky to fill a bay. Look, and again, like you and I both have City friends and so forth.
Oh, yeah.
I've been on the receiving end of obviously honouring a bet when they beat us.
But they've also been on the end of the 3-2 belting and Mr. Clutch Trivunovic's penalty.
Yeah, but at the time, my mate didn't have to wear a Jets shirt at the time, was where I had to wear his City shirt, which was a bit shite.
I still got that photo.
Yeah, we burn that photo, mate. We don't show that photo. But look, as I said, Perth's a possibility. I think it'll happen with time to come. Obviously, when we get up and make ourselves bigger, and hopefully we do make ourselves bigger and get more teams into it.
Yeah.
Wollongong, look, it's one of those things. I think they will get it.
Yep.
And as far as I'm concerned, it pretty much will be, from what my opinion, it will be Canberra and Wollongong if they are the two teams to go. But it's one of these things. I would personally like to see someone possibly like a Coffs Harbour or like a non, you know what I mean? Like I suppose like Wollongong. Like not Brisbane, not in the major cities or anything like that. Like I reckon there's definitely room on the coast between obviously Brisbane and Newcastle.
Yeah.
Obviously we've travelled a fair bit to Coffs and played a few games there. I know other teams, all that sort of stuff. So I'd like to see someone like along those, Coffs Harbour or Ballina or Byron or something like that. That they can be just called East Coast for all I care.
Yeah.
But that would be good. It's not going to happen obviously for the next two teams.
Yeah.
Because obviously they're nowhere near established enough. But hopefully in the future we'll see a side obviously on the East Coast, which would be really good.
Yeah. Agreed.
So, look, it's going to be interesting. Obviously, we thought there at one point that Wellington were done and dusted and they were going to merge.
Yeah.
So, obviously, that's been plucked out of the water and obviously, frigging nipped in the bud and it's not going to happen now and they're going to finish, well, at least this season, as Wellington Phoenix and, good luck to them.
100% good luck to them. I actually really enjoy Wellington as a team.
Yeah, look, as I said, I wouldn't mind another Wellington away day before obviously they shut up shop and hopefully maybe tour of duty next season. That'd be an interesting one. All the guys out there, obviously, Jets supporters and everything.
We'll bypass Europe and pick up Hull on the way through.
Bypass Europe and pick up Hull. Oh, poor old Hull, isn't he? He's like. Look, again, what can you say? Good old Hull, mate. What can you say?
You can't say anything. All you can say is move on to the next question.
Move on to the next question. Well, we're going to wrap it up with a doozy.
Oh, God, here we go.
I'm intrigued to see your thoughts. Obviously, I'm not really going to be talking, obviously, World Cup in Australia and all that sort of stuff, obviously, on my channel. Obviously, we'll do that with the Lencast. But I want to get your thoughts. Now that it's done and dusted, World Cup for us is over. We didn't have a shit run. We didn't have a fantastic run. But in my own opinion, I can only see it ending badly and possibly humiliated in the Asian Champions League with under Graham Arnold. What's your thoughts?
Are we talking thoughts of Graham Arnold as national team
Arnold
manager?
himself. Do you think going forward he will have a good run in Asia? And do you reckon do you think he'll be there come World Cup qualifiers?
Is he the best man for the job? No. Is he the only man for the job? No. Are the FFA going to pay somebody enough to entice them to come to Australia to manage Australia? No. You're at this middle ground at the moment. where the FFA don't want to spend the money, so they get Graham Arnold on what they would deem a cheaper salary than what, say, Bert Van Marwijk would have been on. But is he the best Australian manager out there at the moment? Probably yes. That hurts me to say as a Jets fan. But his brand of football that he had with Sydney was rough, was direct. Whether he takes that concept across to the Socceroos, I don't know. Whether the current Socceroos squad can play that sort of style that Graham Arnold wants, I don't know. The best thing that's come out of this current World Cup is that we performed better than a lot of people thought that we would, which has put a lot of our Socceroos in the shop window again, which is fantastic to see. Namely, for me personally, Trent Sainsbury, who I think had an absolutely wonderful World Cup. He was a rock. As far as I'm concerned, he was the man pulling all the strings.
Yeah.
And some of his tackles were no nonsense. I mean, he popped a ball, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, look, he said he done all right, and again, obviously, we'll put a few of our blokes in the shop window and so forth. Which again, it's fantastic. It's where we want them to be. We don't want to be selecting out of the A League. You know what I mean? It's as bad as it is to say, I suppose.
Well, from reports I heard today, Sainsbury turned down a $5 million a year deal with an unnamed Saudi Arabian club. Which I say, kudos to him. He needs to be playing in Europe, not in Saudi Arabia.
Very true.
He needs European experience.
Yep.
Inter Milan obviously didn't work out, clearly. From reports that I read, he actually played quite well for Grasshopper. Which again was a stopgap move. I don't think he should go anywhere like your English Championship just yet. I think he needs to find that middle ground first. Probably not a Scotland, but if he does go to Scotland, maybe might be a decent fit at Rangers. But he needs to go somewhere in wider Europe, maybe a lower or mid to lower tier Serie A side, or he's got that sort of rough and tumble, no nonsense for Bundesliga. I think Spain would be a bit too technical for him.
We'd take him at Benfica. I wouldn't mind watching him around for
Benfica or Porto, a Sporting Lisbon. Your higher club. Well, of course you're Benfica because you're going to say that because you're half Portuguese. But yeah, see, I can do it too.
I don't want people to know.
But that's all right, mate, because it's coming home. So, there. See what I did there too. That works. Being English.
Oh crap!
But we're not going to rattle on. We're not going to rattle on.
An episode without it, but anyway.
No. We're not going to get. No. But reports also as well is that Josh Risden was staying in Russia a little bit longer because he was being looked at by a couple of Russian clubs as well.
Yeah, right.
Which I dare say is it. Josh Risden needed that World Cup to get himself in the shop window. Don't get me wrong, he's not a bad player. He's actually one of the strongest fullbacks, in my personal opinion, in the A League.
Yep.
He just needed that push. I could see him playing at probably not a Russian side, but something like a Switzerland sort of, your Basel maybe sort of club, Sion, something like that.
Yep.
That middle ground that's not physical English Championship, but not to say that the Russian league's bad. It's a quite physical league, but it's very looked over.
Yeah, no, I'd have to agree there. Obviously, it's for the guys obviously who are now getting looked at outside of the A League, it's fantastic. As I said, going back to obviously Graham Arnold as a coach in itself, I don't know. Yes, as you said, he's probably the best coach in the A League at the moment. But I can't bring myself to think he's going to achieve anything major like Postecoglou with Australia itself.
Yeah, I agree. And it's also the fact that people have got very short memories. Graham Arnold has been the manager of the Socceroos before.
Yeah, I was waiting for it. Yes. And look, maybe he's also been assistant before. He was also...
Yes, he was an assistant too.
He was there when we made it with... who was it? Gus. So, him being under Gus...
Sorry. He became acting coach in July 2006 and then was appointed head coach in December 2006.
Yeah, no, he was a coach.
And at that point, in September in 2006, we lost 2-0 in the Asian Cup to the lowly ranked Kuwait.
Yippee.
So, yes, people have got very short memories in the fact that, yes, Graham Arnold has managed Australia before. Did he do a good job? No.
Yeah, look, as I said, time will tell. Hopefully, as I said, we always want him to succeed and always want him to do well. So, hopefully he does prove us wrong. Because obviously, nothing's going to change.
Yeah. And after a massive, colossal failure with the English team, there's only one club that is going to ever pick you up as a head coach and think that you're any good. And of course, it was the Dirty Jippos.
Yeah, well, look out. He done wonderful things at the coast. Just ask them.
Oh yeah, they still talk about it like it was yesterday.
Yeah, I know, like the wooden spoons.
Where's Georgescu when you need him?
Yeah, 100%.
We need somebody to stir the pot.
We've got all season. A couple of hopefully we play him 3 times again, and hopefully this time twice at home instead of twice down the coast.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
So obviously, last very quick question. Obviously, whilst we're obviously on the Australian sort of topic, probably what's on everyone's thoughts and what everyone's sort of thinking. Where and what is going to come of Tim Cahill? Obviously, he, in my opinion, should have been used in a situation in Game 2 when he wasn't.
Yep.
He was brought on, obviously, in Game 3, as far as I'm concerned, just to say that he'd been at the World Cup and he played minutes, and he was now only one of 4 players of that age group to play 4 World Cups.
Yep.
Is Timmy Cahill done and dusted? Is a retirement on the cards?
Personal opinion, yeah, he should have started in that second game. The style of play that Australia was playing to either cut in from our 2 wingers or go wide and lob in across. If you're going to go wide and lob in across, who better to header it in than Tim Cahill?
100%.
And I was screaming at the TV, put him on. In saying that as well, I as much as it pains me to say it, I think it's time to hang him up.
Yeah. Yep. I think it's time to come home. Not the England. I'm not talking about England here, mate. I'm talking about it's time for Tim to come home back to Australia. Maybe friggin' pick up a shitty NPL squad and just friggin' walk out every week.
I wouldn't even go that far, mate. I'd say hang them up, and because Australian grassroots football is in dire need of help, put that time and energy that you would be spending on the training pitch back into your own academy, which he already has.
Oh, 100%. 100%. And yeah, that's it. You know, he's pretty much...
Everybody's the first to turn around and say that grassroots is a problem in this country. He has his own academy, and it's been well established here for a few years now. Get into that and help the grassroots.
100%.
Produce the next Tim Cahill.
Yeah, for Christ's sake. Produce 20 of them.
11's more than enough.
11's more than enough. No worries, mate. Well, as I said on that one for this episode, and again, you know, thanks for having me. So, thanks for having me.
It's your podcast, mate, not mine.
I'm so used to being on your podcast.
You're too used to being the guest.
I know. I know. It's amazing, isn't it? Look, mate. Again, you know, friggin' thanks for being here. Obviously,
not a problem, mate. Anytime.
Muchly appreciated. Obviously, two heads are better than one, and obviously, your knowledge on the game obviously helps. So, yeah, no, muchly appreciated, mate.
Oh, I'm more than happy to, mate. I'm more than happy to help you out.
No, cheers, mate. So, guys, once again, thank you for smashing Crossbar Podcast. As always, leave your comments and feedback below. Don't forget to
do
hit
your
that
outro
subscribe
again.
button.
It cut out. Do your outro again.
You dirty fucker.
I want to get it clean.
Oh, I love it when it's clean. All right, ready?
Go.
So, guys, once again, thank you for listening to the Smashing Crossbar Podcast. As always, leave your comments and feedback below. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button to be notified when the next video is uploaded. And I will leave all our details and links below. And until the next time, as always, remember, we hate Coast Scum. I'll catch you later, guys. See yous.